I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the web is clear, can do.
Hello once again, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the Friday night races, August 23rd card at Hastings Racecourse. We do have 7 races on tap, including this Canadian Thoroughbred Horse Society's 2 sale stakes for 2-year-olds, as they ahead of the sale that is upcoming on September the 10th. And
as you mentioned, they got 7 races on tap on a Friday night card. We race Friday, Wednesday and Friday this week, Wednesday and Friday next week. Before we get into the card tonight, we're going to go back to the Derby trial, which was last Sunday.
A quick recap.
There we go. We got it queued up. The horse to watch here is the 3 Bluegrass Pride out of the Craig McPherson barn. Richard Hamill rides for Leo and Norma Shaw. Very impressive race here. A bunch of our better 2-year-olds, or 3-year-olds, I should mention, were in the Canadian Derby this weekend. Those who elected to stay home were Bluegrass Pride, Tracker, Hope Seeker, Go for Guinness, and Mark and Modern. Speaking of Modern, he's out there on the lead, setting decent fractions.
23 and 2, not brutal, but quick enough. Go for Guinness, nice trip on the outside. The 1, Hope Seeker, down on the inside. A gap of 3 back to Tracker, who's living up to his name, and then Bluegrass Pride, who is the horse to beat, along with Go for Guinness.
I was disappointed in Go for Guinness. I don't know if he was just too close to the fairly hot pace. But he was up there with Hope Seeker, who hung on better than him. I just
46 and 3. It's
pretty good pace.
That was his second hard race in 13 days too, because he did run on BC Cup Day. In all fairness,
ran very fast.
And ran just a career performance. Looks like he's cruising up to.
All 3 of these guys are kind of taking it out of each other, and Bluegrass Pride is getting a great trip under Richard Hamill.
They're running in 2 packs of 3 here. You got the Hope Seeker, Go for Guinness, and Modern on the head end, and then a gap of 3 to Bluegrass Pride, Tracker, and Mark. Bluegrass Pride's widest of all, which was the great place to be. Richard Hamill rode a very good race. Tracker's kind of stuffed in behind. He had to wait.
Not nearly as bad as he was last time.
No, but at least he got out
this time.
But Go for Guinness, not as prevalent today, but Bluegrass Pride rolls by, and Tracker comes very impressively in the last. He was rolling.
He was rolling at the end.
They went a very impressive 142 and 4/5.
That is smoking. I was impressed with Go for Guinness this time on BC Cup Day, and they came back and were even quicker than that.
Congratulations to the Shaws. Craig McPherson had a great weekend. Of course, you saw on our Wednesday show with Miss Derrick winning for Chad Joe, the prep for the BC Oaks, and of course Craig looks fully loaded.
Bluegrass Pride, and of course he has the reporting star who ran
after the runner-up effort in the Canadian Derby. So Craig and his owners are looking pretty good. Looking pretty good for September the 8th, when we have 6 stakes races on the program. BC Derby, of course, the headliner. All right, let's get into the Friday night program. 7 races on tap. We'll start things off with some 2-year-olds here. Maiden 25 granders going 6.5 furlongs. The first horse I looked at was the 1, almost too much fun. And that's as far as I needed to go. This horse has had 2 good races so far. Goes on the Lasix program for a top outfit. Works are good. That's all I needed at this level to make him a winner. They're not facing an overly tough group. And usually that's the case. When you just drop it take that 1 step back from the maiden specials, you get a lot of times
opens up a little bit for you.
Group, and I think he's got one here. I put the 3-horse Sir Laz, a newcomer, who's by no biz like showbiz, who was a pretty nice horse, raced back east a couple of years back. Here for Steve Henson, and was recently purchased at the sale in Maryland. Steve Henson and a couple of his owners went down to watch the Preakness, also went to the sale that week, and had purchased a few horses, and here's one of them. Gets Aaron Grider to ride, and the works are decent since since coming to Hastings. And I put the 5, Wee Harry, out of the Tack In Away barn. Like the way he was closing up in his 3.5 furlong race last time, and pretty sharp work in a minute and change. So I'm going to try Wee Harry in the show spot, but I do like the 1, almost too much fun. Excellent connections. Peter Redekop's horses are running great. And, I went 1, 3, and 5.
He looks like the Boston here. I agree. Almost too much fun. Looks like almost too much horse in here. again, like you, I got Sir Laz in the second spot. The third spot I put, it's up to you, the Dave Forster barn.
I could have put that one in easy.
Yeah, well-bred little guy
up
out of
to me was a
up
nice
to me.
mare.
He was a pretty nice mare. And by Great Legacy, who's a new stallion, young stallion coming around these parts. And Great Legacy didn't have much of a career, but he was extremely well-bred. He was by out of a mare called Affluent, owned by Janet Lidham, who was out of the Bayakoa family. He's a Stormcat, so it'd be interesting to see how his horses run. I got 1, 3, and 7 in the first. On to the second, 3-year-olds and up, claiming 5,000, going 3.5, the Friday night special. I've gone to the 4, Terrell Me a Story. This is his gig. We've yet to see him this year at Hastings. Every time he runs 3.5, he's live. He had a very lucrative winner in Phoenix. He's had some time off. He's freshened up by Mike Anderson, and I think he's the horse to go to in here. The second spot, I put Now Act, a horse that hasn't run 3.5 before, but he's very quick. He doesn't mind going in fast fractions, and he's the kind of horse I think that won't mind this. Dave Dahl, of course, has another very tough 3.5 horse in Cassidy Star.
And, give her the week off.
Yeah, give her a week off.
Well, not eligible anyway.
Yeah, she's not eligible for this. But puts Now Act in here, and I think he's pretty live. And in the third spot, I put Take a Back Road out of the Greg Tracy barn. Another one, he's won at 3.5 before. As a 2-year-old, he won a maiden 20 for 3.5. And he just seems to get tired in his races. He sets decent fractions. You know, you go a couple back, he can easily go 21 or 22. He just seems to get tired late, so a 3.5 race, as we saw with 2, 5, and 10. Some of these horses, you put them in a 3.5 race, and they're much more dangerous. I got 4, 7, and 9 in the second.
Yeah, I agree with the 4-horse, Drew. Terrell Me a Story. I mean, this horse, I know it wasn't getting to the front end in his last 3 or 4 races, but they're also against quarter horses, and they got some pretty snappy little quarter horses in Phoenix. And this horse was running on well at the end of the races under Jake Barton, and this horse is pretty cool. This horse has run well here, going 3.5 furlongs at the distance. You'll notice 11 tries, 5 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. Thrill Me Story is a pretty nice horse, a nicely drawn and gate for. Richard Hamill's been on the horse a lot of times and won on him, so I think he's your horse to beat. Put the 7 Now Act, as you mentioned, sprinting 3.5 furlongs for the first time. This horse has some speed and ability. Nice runner-up effort to Dog Rock last time, so no reason to think that this horse won't, do well at this trip. And I put the 1-horse Tomcat Jake. I like the run he showed out wide against Cassidy Storm and Romance and Traveler last time. He didn't get the best of trips. He was hung out wide to the turn, got carried out farther, and he draws the rail, and we'll see what he can do from there. I went 4, 7, and 1, but really like Terrell Me a Story.
Yeah, me too.
To win the second race. On to the third, got some maiden 5 granders here, going a mile and 16th. Only managed to gather up 5 of them, but I think the 2-horse He's My Bro is going to be the pick in here. I liked Barclay Bay last time. He almost won the money, but after watching the replay of the race, I thought He's My Bro of the 2 horses had the tougher trip.
Yeah.
And still was courageous in the stretch. This horse was 3 and 4 wide, chasing the hot pace, and only got beat a couple lengths to Barclay Bay. He was just sitting back and watching it, just lying in wait, waiting to pounce and letting them all beat each other up on the head end.
Yeah.
But I think things will be a lot easier on the head end for the 2. He's My Pro. So I went 2, 3, and I put the 1-horse Car Talk in for third. I mean, there's not much to go here. Not a lot of 5-horse field. We're don't want to dissect it too much and overanalyze it. But He's My Pro. I thought of the 2 horses coming out of that Stepmother's Boy and Berkeley Bay race. I thought the 2 ran better than the 3, so I'm going to go 2, 3, 1.
I got the same horses. I got He's My Bro. I think it's graduation day for him, as you mentioned.
If he's going to do it, today's the day.
Today is the day.
Or else bet against him every time.
I put Car Talk in for second. This is a horse that seems to be hot and cold, runs a big one, then comes back. So I'm going the on-again, off-again theory. He had a bad one last time. I'm expecting a better effort today. I got him in second. And Barclay Bay.
Sound like my mother-in-law. She does that stuff.
Just flip a coin.
Yeah.
But there's not much in here. I don't mind Car Talk, so I put him in second, and Barclay Bay for the reason you mentioned. I got him in third. But not a race I love, but I think you can be pretty safe staying with the 1, 2, 3 down the rail there. On to the 4th race, the CCHS Sales Stakes for boys. And I'm going to a horse that is going to be a prohibitive favorite in here.
Yes.
And all that it means. Absolutely woke up last time on BC Cup Day. Won by 10 and a quarter, and it could have been farther. In 17 and 1, what more can you say? This horse is a standout in here. I put Grove Trotter. Actually, I got Paddy Leany's next horses in second and third spot. Grove Trotter, a little accomplished horse. Broke his maiden last time. He's going the right way. A little 2-year-old with some upside. And the other one, Shingan Sky. that was a great race when we ran against Stevens, the three-way trade. Right. Moved a little early and, fought hard down the lane, just got beat late. And then had a brutal trip on BC Cup Day. So with a cleaner trip, I think he could be part of your triact in here. I got 5, 1, and 4.
Yeah, the 5 horse is the horse in here. Yeah. This horse, unless he regresses off of that race and
he'd have to regress
runs
a lot,
absolutely poorly, and sometimes coming back in a couple of weeks after a hard race like that, they're not guaranteed to run it, lights out again. But you got to take the horse off of that race. Yeah. I'll go to the Peter Redekop, Anita Bolton runner in the 5 and all that it means. I put the 3 horse Majestic Mark. Pretty impressed with his first try going 2 turns. I know he did lose to Grove Trotter 2 back, but then went on Lasix, stretched out and ran a good time of 118 flat. So I'm going to give Majestic Mark the place spot. And I tried the 2, never a better cause for Dr. Bryan and Carol Anderson and Pat Jarvis. This horse was a runner-up to Majestic Mark. I hope that race is true and live. If it isn't, well, then your 2 are going to come in, Grove Trotter. Yeah. The Paddy Leaney horses would likely be 2nd and 3rd if it was just the racetrack that made the time that fast of 118 flat.
It has been quick lately.
It has been. But there's no doubt the 5 is...
he's the one to beat.
He's top shelf in here. I'm going to go 5, 3, and 2 in the Colts and Geldings division of the CTHS Sales Stake. On to the 5th race, $7,500 claimers here. This is the first leg of the marathon series. They're going to go 9 furlongs. And I'm going to try the 2 Roses for Ben. I mean, this horse is... kind of slugged it out in the mid-level claiming ranks. Finally made it down to 7,500 for his last couple of runs. But ran a big race to Tommy Danziger last time. Thought that was a really good effort. This horse was traveling well at the end of the race. And actually his mile and 3/8 in longer races have been pretty good. You go back to last year, he had a good marathon race as well. So
the distance isn't going to bother
Super
him.
Steve. Yeah. This horse does do well around a bunch of turns, and I'm going to try Roses for Ben to win it. I put the 8 Trick of the North in for 2nd. They're going to win the race or lose. Yeah. It's kind of it could be his last race. I don't know.
He's got a few races into him, so I like that.
But he hasn't lifted a hoof, and that's the problem. And he was a little quiet in his first run sprinting, but it was 6.5. Then he was tried in the BC Cup Classic because there was no races going along, and so I'd give him a shot, and he didn't pick up the bit at all. But I'm hoping that he can, against this caliber, because this is not a tough group of marathon horses.
Didn't come up
with Tommy Danziger opting not to run in this race. This race has come up quite open, and maybe he can get the job done. Maybe it's, he's 12 years old. Wouldn't be surprised if it's, not his day. But I'm going to put him in the top 3. And I'll put the 7 horse, Say Fabulous, has had a bunch of brutal trip. This horse is the unluckiest horse I've not ever seen, but he was 3 deep on a 46-1, 110-4. I mean, why are $8,000 horses going 46-1, 110-2?
And he's out in the middle
Sometimes
of the track.
riders need to give their heads a shake. Yeah. And it was a strangely run race. And this horse is out there 3 deep.
And surprise, he gets tired.
Imagine that. Yeah. Duh, who do you think you're on? Yeah. You got beat half a dozen lengths and still, that was a big race. And if it didn't totally kill him, because he is coming back in 12 days, I think he'll run a big race. So I went 2, 8, and 7.
I agree with the 2 Roses for Ben. As you mentioned, it's a pretty wide open one. I looked at a lot of different horses in here. Roses for Ben off that race behind Tommy Danziger. It looks like if he can repeat that effort, he's going to be in the winner's circle. Say Fabulous, the reasons you mentioned, a hard trying horse who hasn't had much luck. I got him in the 2nd spot. And I put Waylon Jack in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, he's eligible.
Yeah, this is a horse who likes to go long. He's a big, long striding kind of guy, and he gets a cruising speed. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him make some noise in here. So I got Waylon Jack in 3rd. I went 2, 7, and 5 in your marathon race. The 5th.
More sales stake action.
On to the 6th. Girls. This time we go with the girls. Girls division of the CTHS Sales Stakes. I took a bit of a flyer here. I went with Irish Lyric, a horse that's going to be a bit of a price. Freddie Manrique, a hard-working young jockey here looking for his first win, and I'm taking a shot. It'll be in the stake.
That'd be a good story.
She ran against Arabella's Muse last time, who many people would say hands down is the nicest filly at the track. But it was a full field. There was 10 horses in there. There were some tough horses in there who were battle-hardened, had run a bunch like Battle and Brook, like Flatter You. And Irish Lyric made a huge move to run by everybody. Obviously wasn't going to catch Secretariat that was on the lead there. But very good second. So I'm going to take Irish Lyric in here. In what I think is a pretty wide open race. Architecture will be your favorite in here, but I don't know how dominant she is against these other fillies. So I'm taking a flyer on Irish Lyric. I got Architecture in third, and hey, did you notice who ran a good race on BC Cup Day behind Architecture and Habita? I got 3, 5, and 2.
Yeah, I got the same 3 horses. I did go to Architecture to win it. Yeah. I agree. You know, I'm glad you're taking a stand on a horse that's going to be a good price. I mean,
and for our good buddy Praven's horse.
Yes, nice I can't knock that. And you know, Architecture is an obvious pick. She's had 2 runner-up efforts behind a couple of one nice colt and Deviance and a nice filly and Ole's Miss, and then a nice win. But you know, she showed versatility in all races. She can go out to the lead. She can sit off it, and that's a big plus for. The daughter of Dixie Chatter. And I put the 2, Did You Notice, in for second. Didn't get the best of trips from the 11 hole. This horse had a rough go. Should have been second at least. This horse was unlucky. Mario gave Habita a great ride to be the runner-up that day. And I agree with Irish Lyric. I put that one in for third. No one was beating Arabella's Muse. She was in a race of her own in 1:16 and change. And definitely one of the nicest 2-year-old fillies to ever run here at this point of their career.
Looks that way,
see that impressive kind of a performance. But Irish Lyric ran huge and didn't get a great trip either. This horse is wide out. And, she's got every reason to improve second time out. But I went 5, 2, and 3. This Architecture is going to be tough to beat. On to the 7th and final race. Got a 6-pack signed on of fillies and mares, 3,000 claimers going a mile on the 16th. Have not run first, second, or third in open company this year. And I'm going to go to the 5, Perfect Light. Unlucky run last time. This horse was out there early and then got shuffled back, came on again, and I think today's the day for Perfect Light. She's had some good race, a nice non-2 allowance score in Phoenix. She's just had some unfortunate trips. She's a good distance horse. That was the first time she got to go long at Hastings this year, and I think she's going to be dangerous again. I put the 4-horse Revster, who coming back in 6 days, as is most of the field here. Actually, 4 of these 6 runners are coming back in 6 days, which is another reason I like Perfect Light, who's got 3 weeks in between, or 19 days in between races, and has a bit of a chance to recharge the batteries and, you know, get you know, because racing's hard on fillies, and especially the cheaper on fillies, and sometimes you need a little time to, you know, get your weight back up and
get their feet under them again.
Yep. And but Revster. She looks like the second best horse to me in the 6. Tick Me Off. I had trouble finding a third horse. I went to Tick Me Off for third. But I do like the 5 a lot in here, Perfect Light. I went 5, 4, and 6.
I see it the same way. I think Perfect Light has been running against much tougher. This is the race for her. Obviously not a very tough race. You can see that just by the conditions of the race.
Yeah.
She fits in well. Only getting beat 3 lengths last time, running 5th.
With a poor trip.
Puts her into here,
Didn't get much luck.
Yeah, so I got Perfect Light on top. Revster, as you mentioned, probably the second best horse in here. She's been running in these kind of races and making some noise, so I got her in second, and Tick Me Off again. Had to put something in for third.
Yeah, no, there wasn't a lot of places to go.
Yeah, you know, Tick Me Off. One thing in Tick Me Off's favor is she's won 7 races, which is way more than any of these other fillies. So that's what I kind of looked at. I put her in the 3rd spot. I got 5, 4, and 6 on the nightcap on Friday night, and that'll do it for our analysis of the Friday, August 23rd races at Hastings Park. Up next will be our slates. Mike will be up first. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Back in race number 1. I did go to the 1-horse. Almost Too Much Fun over the 3 and 5. Race number 2, the 4, Terrell Me a Story, and the 3.5 furlong race as he returns to Hastings. 4, 7, and 1. Race number 3, the 2, He's My Bro, over the 3, Barclay Bay, and the 1, Car Talk. The 4th race, I went to the 5, and All That It Means, over the 3, Majestic Mark, and the 2, Never a Better Cause, which is the first stakes race on the program. In the 5th race, number 1 in the Marathon Series, I'm going to try the 2, Roses for Ben, over the 8, Trick of the North, and the 7, Say Fabulous. In the 6th race, the filly division of the CTHS Sales Stakes, I went to the 5, the heavy favorite Architecture, over the 2 and 3. And the 7th and final, I went to the 5, Perfect Light, over the 4 and 6.
And up next will be my picks. There we go. In the 1st, I agree with Mike on number 1, Almost Too Much Fun, over the 3 and the 7. In the 2nd, again, I'm with Mike on number 4, Terrell Me a Story. We got a lot of the same picks today, almost all day long. He's My Bro, over the 1 and the 3. In the 4th, I'm on number 5, And All That It Means, over the 1 and the 4. In the 5th, number 2, Roses for Ben, over the 7 and the 5. In the 6th, I went to a little bit of an outsider, number 3, Irish Lyric, over the 5 and the 2. And the nightcap, I agree with Mike again on number 5, Perfect Light, over the 4 and the 6.
Well, that'll do it for the Friday edition of Handicappers Corner. Just a quick reminder that during the P&E, the schedule has changed. Of course, we race the Wednesday at 1:50 and Friday night at 7:15. That'll be the same for the August 28th. Wednesday card will be an afternoon card, as well as Friday, the August 30th. And then we'll race on September 2nd, I think it is, Labor Day will be our final day of the P&E. Then we'll get back to the Saturday, Sunday programs throughout the rest of the year. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day. Hopefully we've been giving you a little insight and maybe send you to the windows with some winning decisions for the Friday night program. On behalf of Drew, I've been, once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner from the Derby Bar and Grill.